It's that time of the week. It's Thursday Night Football, Week 4. We got to set some lineups. Today, we're looking at the Seattle Seahawks, the Arizona Cardinals. We're going to look at this game script, try to see how the fantasy points could be scored, and try to look at how this game script could also break in either way. Before we dig in, though, you need to click that subscribe button right now because we're looking at every single game this year with the Must Start series like we did last year, trying to identify the flow of the game so you know what your players could be potentially doing. On top of that, we got player rankings. We're looking at the waiver wire every single day. We're doing deep dives on all the trending players. Click that button. Stop missing out. Ric Flair's watching. You do not want to disappoint Ric Flair. But starting off, we have a very interesting contest here. Vegas has a low over-under at 43.5. That's a lower implied point total. But when you look at all the games played between these two teams since 2022, you'll definitely see like volatile game scripts, volatile point totals mixed in there. You're definitely looking at the yards from the last 3 games from these two teams. 126 Seattle on average, 125 from Arizona. And you're also seeing a fair amount of passing movement. Arizona throwing a little bit more, 250 yards almost, 215, rounding, of course. But pass attempts, 35 to 29. That is something to pay attention to. You got a tight spread here at 1.5. I'm expecting fun football to watch on the TV. I'm expecting a very hard game script here to predict for us. That is what I'm seeing here. Very hard game script that could potentially break either way. My guess, like this implied point total, is going to hold very true to the point where we're going to be somewhere around 42 to 45 total points. It will probably look something like 2024, 2023, 20 to 10, 21 to 20, 31 to 21, something around that range. But I think we'll get okay movement. I think we'll get midline movement in this game. When I'm looking at the quarterbacks here, I think you're going to be okay starting either one of them. And what I mean by okay is you're at least going to be hitting double digits and getting good QB2 level results here. I think upside needs the game script to break for either quarterback. We need Kyler Murray to hit that big play. We need him not to be too YOLO. It's kind of really on him and what he sees in the moment. We're seeing QB2 results here from him this year. We have not had a QB1 week yet. Darnold last week, I kind of told you that in the live stream on Sunday, that when that person just gave me a list of like 7 quarterbacks, and it broke my brain, and I had to stare at it, and Darnold was the name I came up with when logically the other quarterbacks should have been. Yeah, that was kind of predicted due to the Saints matchup. You're looking at what the defenses are giving up here. Arizona's like almost dead nuts the league average when it comes to allowing fantasy points to quarterbacks. When you're looking at what Seattle's giving up, they're a little less by 11%, 18.2 points per game. I think both quarterbacks will be fine. You need a game script to break a little bit for them to hit that upside. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be all right. If you're in a 1 QB league and you got one, pick your starter. I would not be hoarding multiple quarterbacks in a 1 QB league right now. I'd be trying to be getting a lot of lottery ticket handcuffs on my bench. I'd rather have that extra lottery ticket running back than be dealing with these start-sit dilemmas at quarterback when roughly those 2 quarterbacks are going to be just a little bit off from each other every week. You'll have those random bust games here and there. That's just part of statistics. But still, I would rather have that lottery ticket running back like that space for Trey Benson before this week. Would have been a lot better to have than an extra tight end or quarterback. Looking at Kenneth Walker, as of right now, while I'm recording, we're watching for the status of Zach Charbonnet. If Kenneth Walker has to share the backfield with Zach Charbonnet, that should reduce his workload a little bit, and that should impact him. He's been a hitter the last 2 weeks. Is there anybody really in traditional 12-man, 10-man leagues, 14 even, that's benching him, that's even thinking about it? Like, is this holding you off at all? They've allowed 24.4 PPR fantasy points to games to running backs. Alvin Kamara got 13.7. Chuba got 18.7. McCaffrey's got 24. all the indicators in this matchup says, hey, Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet in or out, you're exploring this. Is that going to guarantee? No, but when you're looking at this, he doesn't have very many bust weeks when he's healthy and on the field. Week 1, week 13 last year, week 8, that's it. That's it. All of them, double digits, RB2 or better. So you just got to put it in and just hope that the chips fall. That's it. Zach Charbonnet is a different story. He's questionable. We got to see if he's in or out. You're probably going to be commenting right now below saying he's in, he's out, whatever. Now, here is a play that usually I would watch from afar, and I'd just say, I'll just give him another week, especially if I'm good at running back. Now I'm probably better at running back than what I was because I had Trey Benson in a lot of leagues. I'm going to admit that. I drafted him up, and I said I was drafting him up, and I'll probably be rolling him out over Charbonnet. That's a pretty easy one to call since I had him in my top 20. And Kenneth Walker, I moved up on him more than my rankings. I like him better than what I had him ranked a couple days ago. I hate ranking on Wednesday, but it kind of helps you for Thursday. Wide receivers will come out tomorrow because this video is going to help you with those. Jaxon, Smith-Njigba. I expect him to at least get 6 targets in this game. This could be a spike week target game, considering we had 6, then 10 the week prior. There's a chance for that. Arizona's allowing 36.5 fantasy points per game to wide receivers. They're not completely breaking, but they're bending. Like Olave and Pearsall, they've bent to them. They did not completely break. So when you take that in account, and you're taking account of Jaxon Smith-Njigba as the target leader in this offense with already 29 targets with elite 40% target share right now, is there anybody actually benching Jaxon Smith-Njigba out there? Is there anybody doing it? Maybe in a 5-man league? Maybe if they're really, really trying to dice roll it. His ADOT's higher than usual. His target share's higher than usual. Process-wise says you're not benching. So you're really looking at this for maximum results. I look for him to get more than 6 targets. I look for 6 targets to be on the low for him. I look for him to get 8+ pretty easily. I look for him to be roughly safe. I look for Cooper Kupp to get some of those short targets, to get some opportunity. He could sneak into wide receiver 2, high-end wide receiver 3 level results this week. I look at him as like a flex play. Torrey Horton's a guy you throw in the lineups. You close your eyes. You pray to the fantasy football gods that he hits. He has a 13.6 average depth of target. He's going to be getting deep balls when he's out there on the field. He brings one in, he's going to cash. The thing about this, he's kind of cashed the last 2 weeks. The odds of him cashing 3 weeks in a row kind of reduces that. But statistically speaking, his odds of cashing is just whether or not he brings in that deep ball. And he'll probably get 4-ish targets in this matchup like he's been getting. Probably 3 to 5 range is where you're at here. Cooper Kupp is probably around that 3 to 8 range. It's more vast, and it's really depending on how hyper-targeted Jaxon Smith-Njigba gets. Jason's safe. Elijah Arroyo, we're watching him. Like, you're not starting him, you're watching him. You are watching him. He's going to be out there today. He's going to be cleared. He's got 5 targets on the season. 1 target in week 3, 3 before that, 1 before that. Getting work. He is the guy you're watching throughout the year on this offense. That is your homework right now, is to watch Elijah Arroyo and pay attention to him. Come back and report in the comment section in the next few weeks, days, what you think about Elijah Arroyo. Your homework is to watch him because he's one of the few. We covered Rondé Gadsden earlier, lottery ticket tight ends in the National Football League. The Cardinals are allowing 13 PPR fantasy points per game to tight ends. Juwan Johnson went off. Sanders went off. JT Sanders. They're allowing fantasy production. AJ Barner is just a volatile play. You're not chasing it. You're really just hoping he scores, honestly. You're just hoping he catches that touchdown. Now we're looking at Trey Benson. I had him ranked in my top 20. I think this is a fine matchup. Jaylen Warren scored 17.4 in week 2. Alvin Kamara is meh, and Christian McCaffrey 23.2. So that average is like based on Christian McCaffrey still. But the thing about this is he's going to be targeted. He's going to be getting the workload. He's going to be getting the opportunity, and he is next in line. He's going to be out there with a mission because him and James Conner was like this. I'm throwing him in lineups. In my personal leagues, I am throwing him in lineups. I am throwing him out there. Now, in deeper leagues, for your homework, watch Amari DeMarcado and his touches. Watch him because last year he was very explosive alongside Trey Benson last year. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can eat space. This is a running back that is now a handcuff. He is now a handcuff to Trey Benson, and he could be much more. He could be granted more opportunity than expected. I would not be surprised if he gets more opportunity, more touches, more targets than expected, and he performs well, like hits on a couple runs. And next thing you know, he's a little bit ahead of Trey Benson, and everybody's wondering what's going on. I would not be surprised about that. I would not be surprised at all because he's very explosive, but everybody's looking at Marvin Harrison Jr. The thing about this is he's not their main passing target. It's Trey McBride. So he's competing as technically the wide receiver 2 on this team, which is rare for a wide receiver of his profile and rare for him to have to deal with a tight end that's soaking up so much workload, but Trey McBride's good. Marv has 5 uncatchable targets on the season. You're looking at the Seattle defense. They bend but don't break the wide receivers. He's been down the last 2 games, so he's kind of due. He's been helter-skelter so far during his career. I expect helter-skelter to continue until it doesn't. There's a chance we hit double digits. I think he's a risk. I think most of you are starting him, though. It's hard not to start a wide receiver who's getting a good target share of almost 20%, and that's also getting an ADOT that's well in the double digits of 11.35 and running on 100% of the routes. Like, the opportunity and work rate's there. He's going to be missed on targets. His targets are deep downfield. Trey McBride's going to get most of the targets, but he's going to be out there on every single route, every single drop back. Targets will be there. He'll get like 5 at least. Usually he's around that 5, 6, 7 range of what we're seeing here. 6, 5, and 6 so far this year. Prior to that, the last bit of the season was 8, 6, 8, 10, 6. That's kind of where he's at. He's not hyper-targeted. He's not getting a lot of volume. 6.7 targets per game on his career. He's probably going to be around that 6 range. He's probably going to have a couple of those uncatchable. He's got 5 of them on the season in 3 games. So he's a little bit of a risk here. So you need him to catch the ball in the end zone. You need him to get that touchdown. I don't see many people starting Michael Wilson. I don't see anybody starting Elijah Higgins, Rittman, Zay Jones. We're looking at Marv here. We're seeing what can happen with him. Trey McBride, who's benching him? Who's benching him? That's the question. Now your next question is, how can we hit top-tier upside? The volume's there. The volume's there. Seattle is allowing fantasy points to tight ends. George Kittle did well. Juwan Johnson, both those guys, volume-esque tight ends. He's a volume-esque tight ends. He's running on 100% of the routes. Target share is elite. It's elite for a wide receiver at 27%, let alone a tight end. I mean, what are we doing here? What are we doing? He's averaging 15 PPR fantasy points per game over the last year or so. You're starting him. Like, you're not benching him. Good, bad, or ugly, you're not benching him. And the odds are the odds like every single game. So last year against the Cardinals, he did well as well, especially his last time, 30.3 points. And then you're looking at some of the other matchups here, like he rarely misses. He's only missed twice, technically 3 times. But that one time, even though it was a miss with 8 points, it was a tight end 1 week. He's only missed twice in like 20 games. The odds are in his favor. The odds are in his favor to give you good production, so don't overthink him. But when you're looking at this matchup here, you got some homework. You got to watch Elijah Arroyo, and you got to watch Amari DeMarcado. I'd also suggest you watch some of the other pass catchers on the Cardinals, but we know where the volume's going out there. But you got some homework tonight to watch for your fantasy football waiver wire, for your deep leagues, your deep stashes. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.